Before we dive in, let me leave you with a truth that echoes across every chapter in human history. Nothing we are began in silence. Every civilization, every story, every ancestor left a trail of wisdom waiting to be rediscovered. What you are about to hear is a part of a legacy, preserved, decoded, and brought back to the forefront. I'm OG Mooney. Welcome to AI Legacy Lab.
In the quiet hush of deep time, long before the first kingdoms rose, before our stories even had tongues, there walked a woman. Her footsteps were so profound, they would echo across every single generation that would ever come after. Today, we call her Mitochondrial Eve. And we call her that not because she was the very first woman, or the only woman alive at the time, but because her specific maternal lineage is the one that survived. It's the one that passed through every mother, every grandmother, every daughter, in an unbroken chain all the way to us. Her story, like all true beginnings, isn't loud or explosive. It's patient. It's persistent. It is a story carved into the very bones of time itself, and it lives inside each and every one of us. So let's clear the fog right away. The name Mitochondrial Eve can be a little confusing. So what does it actually mean? It doesn't mean she was the biblical Eve, or the first female human to ever exist on Earth. Far from it. She lived among a community of other early humans. What it means is that she is the most recent common matrilineal ancestor all living people today. Her mitochondrial DNA, a special genetic package passed down only from a mother to her children, is the ancient root of every single person alive on this planet. Think about that for a second. No matter your nation, your tribe, your culture, or the color of your skin, all of us, every one of the 8 billion people on Earth, carry a tiny biological spark of her inside ourselves. This isn't just ancestry in the way we think of family trees or bloodlines. This is something far deeper. It is the inheritance of existence itself. It's the proof that our stories, no matter how different they seem, all started from the same place. And where was that place? Science doesn't whisper this answer. It shouts it from the mountaintops. She lived in Africa. That is the genetic cradle of our species, the ancient heart where humanity first truly opened its eyes to the world. For decades, scientists have followed the clues. Every migration map they draw, every DNA study they conduct, every fossil trail they uncover, they all point back to one place. Her continent, Africa. Through meticulous genetic dating, scientists have estimated that she lived somewhere between 150,000 and 200,000 years ago. As I mentioned, she wasn't alone. She was likely part of a thriving population of early modern humans, living, hunting, and raising families just like anyone else. So what made her so special? Why her? In a way, she wasn't special at all. She just became the turning point. She wasn't a queen in a palace, adorned with jewels. She became our shared ancestor by the simple, powerful act of survival. To understand why her line survived, we have to appreciate how fragile life was back then. It wasn't some mythic, heroic tale. It was a daily struggle against the odds. Early human tribes moved with the seasons, following game and edible plants. A sudden drought, a harsh winter, or a new disease could steal lives overnight and wipe out entire family lines. And that's exactly what happened. Over thousands of years, countless other maternal lines, from women who lived at the same time as Mitochondrial Eve, simply vanished. Their lineages hit dead ends due to famine, climate change, migration bottlenecks where only a few survived, or just the simple bad luck of not having daughters to pass on their mitochondrial DNA. But hers, her line endured. Her daughters had daughters, and her daughters' daughters carried that precious torch forward. Through ice ages and volcanic eruptions, across deserts and over mountains, her descendants persevered. And eventually, it was her people, carrying her genetic legacy, who walked out of Africa and seeded the entire world. They populated Asia, Europe, the Americas, and Australia. No matter where you trace your maternal ancestry back to, if you follow that trail long enough, you always come home to her. Her legacy is not some abstract concept. It's a physical reality inside you right now. Every human alive carries things called mitochondria. They are the living, breathing powerhouses inside our cells, turning food and oxygen into the energy that keeps us alive. And all of that mitochondrial DNA in every cell of your body traces back in a direct, unbroken line to that one African woman. So, when someone says, humanity started in Africa, it's not an opinion. It's not a political statement. It's a fact of our lineage. It is a scientific truth wrapped in bone, memory, and the very fabric of our biology. Her presence is quiet, but it is universal. It's like a drumbeat beneath the rhythm of our own hearts, a constant reminder that long before we built pyramids and temples, before we built cities and drew borders on maps, before we created nations and flags, we were one family. We shared a home. We shared a mother. Now, it's important to understand the spiritual weight of this knowledge. Almost every culture, every religion, every spiritual tradition has a mother figure at the dawn of humanity. A first woman, a giver of life. The science of Africa as Mitochondrial Eve. I send here to replace religion or challenge anyone's faith. It's about recognizing a biological root that connects us all regardless of our beliefs. When you look at the world today, with all its divisions, with all its arguments about race and origin, her story cuts right through the noise. It's a quiet but powerful voice from the past that says, you all came from me. And there's something incredibly grounding, something almost sacred, about simple truth. It forces us to see the other, not as a stranger, but as a distant cousin. It's a realization that the things that divide us are recent and shallow, while the things that unite us are ancient and deep. So, when we speak of African heritage, when we talk about the importance of legacy, when we honor the ancestors who came before us, we are echoing a truth that is older than language itself. Mitochondrial Eve is not just a fascinating figure for scientists to study. She is a reminder. She is a compass pointing us back to our shared origin. She is the living proof that humanity began as one branch, one spark, one mother. And the further we travel into the future, the more complex our world becomes. The more important it is to remember the woman whose story is written inside every single one of us. This is ailegacylab. We're here preserving history, honoring truth, and keeping our beginnings alive. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as powerful as we do, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's keep this legacy alive together.
Another chapter reclaimed, another piece of history placed back where it belongs. If you have found any meaning in this, let it sit with you. Let it sharpen your vision, not just for the past, but for who we are becoming. I'm OG Mooney, and this is AI Legacy Lab. Honoring truth, protecting legacy, one story at a time. Until next time, stay curious.